I've been on a Sonic Racing CrossWorlds kick recently, as you can tell, and while the game has a lot of flaws, performance is not one of them. It runs shockingly well for a modern Unreal Engine game, and Sega aren't exactly known as the most competent developers. No offense, Sega. It's been a surprise to me how well the game runs overall. Granted, my PC's not exactly the best benchmark for mid to low range machines.
This thing might be old, but it's still cutting edge.
But I've always had a suspicion that the minimum spec requirements listed on Steam are a little over-exaggerated. I mean, the game runs on the Switch 1 for goodness sake. You know, without reaching full HD and with settings lower than even the PC port's lowest default settings, but that doesn't change the fact that it's on a tablet from 2017 running a 2025 Unreal Engine racing game from Sega. So, I want to know just how low-end of machine can you use to run this game in a playable state? And boy, do I have a secret weapon to test it on. Does anyone remember the Atari VCS? Okay, show of hands, looks like most of you don't. Okay, quick refresher. Back around 2018, Atari officially announced that they were re-entering the console market with the Atari Box, a new console PC hybrid complete with features from everyone's favorite console of all time, the Xbox One. Yup, the Atari Box was voice-activated.
Atari on. Hey Atari, let's play Tempest 4000.
Or at least it was going to be, until someone must have showed the developers, who I presume had been living under a rock since the 70s, that no one actually liked the Xbox One, and marketing the console after one of the biggest gaming fiascos in recent history maybe isn't the smartest move. So, after an expensive Kickstarter, the Atari Box would release in 2021, rebranded as the Atari VCS 400 and the VCS 800, the numbers representing how much RAM each model had. Rocking a 2-core AMD R1606G Zen processor with integrated graphics, 4 to 8 gigabytes of shared RAM. The iGPU either gets 2 or 4, depending on if you have the 4 or 8 gigabyte model. A whopping 32 gigabytes of internal storage, which is partially taken up by Atari OS, a locked-down, extremely limited Debian-based custom OS for running Atari's store-bought games. The Atari VCS came into the 9th generation 4 years late and swinging with the strength of a wet piece of spaghetti, retailing at $400 for the complete kit. Which, the complete kit means it actually came with controllers. If you already have your own USB controllers, you could save $100 and grab it for just $300, which I bet made the backers spending $550 on this thing very happy. So there it is, the secret 9th generation console, the Atari VCS, $100 more expensive than the Switch One, while being less powerful and not even mobile. This thing's competition in terms of portability and power is realistically the Wii U, which frankly, the Wii U wipes the floor with this. Let me remind you, this thing launched in 2021, but it was advertised as a PC hybrid too. So despite the power issues, you're still getting the freedom of customization. Just like the Ouya. Oh god. Well, after not paying their lead developer, yeah, I'm not kidding, Atari decided to lock the VCS's BIOS and have you pay an extra $100 for a USB stick to enter PC mode from their own stupid lockdown OS. So anyway, hopefully that explains why you've never fucking heard of it. This absolute shit show. Today, we're gonna try and run Sonic Racing CrossWorlds on it. Now, as much as I'd love to jump right into this and test if Sonic CrossWorlds will even run on this thing, there is quite the leap in power between my PC and this Atari VCS, and depending on the day, it's struggled to run a hat in time. So, before we jump into the VCS, we need to test Sonic CrossWorlds on something significantly more powerful. This computer. I promise it is. Yes, I know how it looks, but inside this thing, oh my god, if I can get in there. That side panel ain't plastic. Now that we're inside this thing, you can see that, well, actually it's not helping my case. But that's just surface level. We've got 2 sticks of DDR4 16 gigabytes combined for 32. We've got a RX 480 overclock edition. And then underneath here, we've got a Ryzen 5 5600G, as well as a hidden solid state drive somewhere in here. I think it's under the floppy drive. There's a solid state drive somewhere in there. At any rate, that's going to be our mid-range benchmark. As well as we're going to be testing something else. How well does CrossWorlds actually behave on Linux, which I have installed on this machine? Because Windows is a little too heavy for the Atari VCS to get, proper performance readouts on. That poor processor is strained enough. Give it a moment, something's been wrong with my grub. Don't worry, it's just checking if it needs to boot from the floppy. Hey, so let's get CrossWorlds installed here and see how it does. And you'll have to put up with the handy cam. I am not carrying this giant heavy slab upstairs just to do an HDMI capture. So we actually do have some time to wait. So I'm gonna use that opportunity to get the controls set up. Here's a tip, by the way. If you're going to have something that has analog triggers, what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to go into the Sonic CrossWorlds Steam binding settings, and you're gonna want to actually turn off full pull and set them to soft pull. That way they actuate as soon as possible and they don't get in each other's way. They're not supposed to, but for some reason in CrossWorlds, the soft pull and full pull register as 2 inputs and make you let go and continue afterwards. Boy, yeah, this video could end right here. We don't even know if this runs on Linux. Huh? Hey. Although that's not a good sign. Oh. Hey. Look at that. Well, boys, we're in, and it is looking chunky. Now let's try 60. We can do 60. Everything's set to low. Let's turn anti-aliasing off. Give it the best chance. Rendering scale 50. Nah. We can do 100. My frame rate counter's not working. I think there's a way to do that in Steam. Well, it's not as nice as the usual one I have. Just says 60 up in the corner here. Fuck it, let's max this shit out. This not saving is showing me I'm gonna need to back up my save file in my other one. I'm not seeing any dips in the frame rate yet. Wait, why do the graphics look better than on my main PC? But they're on the same settings. You can't tell on the camera here, but what the heck? No, not a single frame dip whatsoever. This runs way better than Marvel Rivals does on this computer. No frame dips. Not a single one. God, the colors are better too. Why are the graphics better on this? Contrast, the colors, the everything. What the heck? Huh? What? This shortcut, you're not allowed to take it. What? But why? You can take this one across the grass. What? Okay, well, this runs fine. Even maxing out the graphics, I couldn't get it to dip below 60. Well, I'm convinced. Let's try the Atari. Now, you may be tempted to look at that performance of this old machine and think, oh, well, surely the Atari VCS can handle that. The closest console to this thing in terms of performance is going to be the Wii U. So that's not looking too hot for it, especially since the Switch version of the game already has to have settings that are even lower than the lowest PC settings. We're not talking about running the console version, we're talking about running the Steam version on here. However, the reason I'm opening this thing up here is to show you that I'm giving this thing the best fighting chance it could ever have. Because inside of, oh my god, I forgot that the antenna's attached to the lid. Anyway, as I was saying before I almost just ruined my VCS, I've done some upgrades to this thing to give it the best fighting chance that it has. I can't do anything about the processor that's in it. That is integrated into the board. The processor that is in this thing will be the processor that's in it forever. So I'll tell you what we've done. We have jailbroken this thing, and are able to actually slightly overclock it with a little extra power draw. To compensate for that, we have swapped the worst thermal pad I've ever seen in my life for ultra high performance thermal paste. Beyond that, we have also upgraded its internal storage with a 1 terabyte WD Red SSD. Trying to find where the screw hole is, and I forgot that they put it in the exhaust. This last part was an absolute nightmare, because this console is extremely picky about this, and we went through basically everything available online to find just the right ones for it. But eventually, we did figure out how to upgrade the RAM in this thing to have 2 sticks of 16 combined 32 gigabytes of 3200 megahertz RAM, which is way more than the VCS usually is comfortable with. You need very specific types of RAM for that to work. But it's stable, and we've got it. So while we can't do much about the processor being less powerful than the Switch, we are certainly giving this thing one hell of a fighting chance. And because it's jailbroken, usually it would only allocate 2 gigabytes to its VRAM. When you upgrade it higher, it does automatically give you 4. Given that we're rocking 32, we can absolutely afford to give it extra VRAM if we need to. Although I've noticed significant diminishing returns after 4 gigs, so we'll start with 4. You guys are probably looking at the heat spreader on here, the high performance thermal paste I talked about, and like going through all the trouble with giving this thing the best RAM it ever had. You're probably looking at this and being like, what on earth are you using your VCS for? Well, before my ISP refused my request for a faster upload speed, I was actually turning this thing into a Minecraft server. I still want to do that. As soon as we can find an alternative to our service provider, if anyone ever shows up here. That's kind of our hard limiting factor right now. But yeah, given that this thing has had the crap upgraded out of it, I think it's got the best shot. Isn't that cute? They got little Space Invaders on the board. If anyone's looking for the RAM that I used, here you go. This is the only stuff that still works. The stuff that was listed on the Atari forums has had their manufacturing change, and it is no longer compatible. This, as of this video, or at least as of when I put this in, is the only RAM that will not make this thing BIOS lock itself by putting it in. And yeah, you heard that right. It will lock its BIOS if it has the wrong RAM. And you can't unlock it even if you put in other compatible RAM. What I've noticed is that to unlock the BIOS, it actually needs its original RAM sticks, which I have in an anti-static case up high on a shelf in a sealed container because, oh my god. Okay, so VCS stuff being aside, let's reassemble this thing and give it a shot. Dude, look at how these cables route through here. No. I suppose I should also explain a little bit of myself. Why was I trying to turn a VCS into a Minecraft server? 1, tariffs. You can find these things used for around 80 to 120 bucks. That's not bad. I can't build a mini PC with those specs right now. 2, same reason it's down here right now. It has not only Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, but an Ethernet port near that warranty is void badge of honor. So I'm just gonna borrow the high-speed Ethernet port from my computer here so we can go ahead and pre-download the game before we do some testing. 3, it has 4 USB 3.0 ports. So expandable and upgradable external storage. And 5, and this is gonna be the big one. This thing's yearly operating cost is literally less than $10. That's even under load. So if I ever show up with a Minecraft server after we sort out our internet, it's probably on this. Anyway, it's been a hot minute, so let me go ahead and give this thing some updates. You working? Yep. $2 mouse from Goodwill. That's kind of the point, isn't it? This thing costs basically nothing. Yeah, it's been a minute since I've updated this. Oh, Ubuntu. Okay, I got it. It's going now. Just Linux. Whew, I can feel the heat coming out the back of that. That means the thermal paste is working. It's not just radiating out of the top and is painful to touch anymore. You know, while I'm sitting here waiting for this thing to download CrossWorlds and get through its system updates, I just had a shower thought. That little Wi-Fi Bluetooth chip that we yanked the cables out and had a little bit of a hard time getting that back in there, that little M2 slot, I wonder if that's eGPU capable. Hear me out. This thing's pretty wide. It's not very tall. I wonder, given that, you know, it's got those little feet in the bottom where you can have the screws in, I wonder if you could make like a dock for it, or I guess like a permanent dock, and have a little eGPU in here, right? Because I mean, like, you could run Bluetooth and Wi-Fi just through one of these like 4 USB ports. You could make the most powerful VCS in the world, although its processor is still going to be the little stinker that holds the whole thing back. I'm just saying, that would be really funny. Alright, it finished the game. I'm just getting some runtime stuff, and hopefully the system updates will actually freaking listen this time. Update all, just for safety's sake. Oh my god. Don't give me that error. I want to see your tasks going. Oh, there they are. Its original operating system is still in here on its internal memory that's only 32 gigs. Atari OS actually is basically a very locked down Linux under the hood, so having a Linux distro on here is actually pretty appropriate for this console. That is technically what it's supposed to have. I'm just using something that isn't completely locked down and stupid. I think we looked this up once before to see what would be a better investment as a Steam machine. Yeah, the Steam Deck's like twice as powerful as this thing. So, I don't know. Sonic CrossWorlds, you are in for a time. Or Atari, you're in for a hard time, actually. We did actually have it running Minecraft shaders at one point. Not super well, it was only able to handle like 480p. Actually, I don't think it was even 480, I think it was 420. And it was on the lowest settings, but she did it. Oh my god. Okay, so the update was to discover. The error was I was watching the updates with the update manager, which was getting updated. So all I needed to do was close out of it. Okay, I think it's ready. We can take it upstairs, plug it into the capture card, which is not only going to be a more pleasurable viewing experience, but we can control the resolution more precisely and not have to worry about letterboxing on whatever the resolution of this thing is. Oh, and the refresh rate is going to match. Yeah, no, this setup isn't scuffed at all. So I'm gonna have my PC using its capture card to capture this. Man, I'm kind of geeking out over the fact that this is technically a computer / console. Cause, I mean, it's so itty bitty. I mean, it's not as small as the Switch, and it's less powerful. That's kind of embarrassing, especially since it came out later. But like, it works like a computer. I'm used to computers being these big honking fucking things. It's not even the size of the keyboard though. I don't know, that's kind of cool. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot its most important part. Its controller. By the way, if you don't mind the fact that you're probably gonna have to use this thing wired, well, it's got a decently long cable, because they kind of screwed up their shitty Bluetooth firmware on Windows and Linux. This thing is like only $15 when it goes on sale, and this is like actually better than an Xbox controller. I'm not even having a funny. Don't bother with like its classic controller, but this one's really good. Come on, you. I think it's escape. Here, I thought it was delete. Okay, we're in business. Yep, we're on 4 gigabytes of VRAM. All right, just wanted to make sure that that's what it was set to for the first test. Please don't accidentally boot into Atari OS. Come on, there you go. No, you got the right one. You got the right one. You have no idea how hard that was to set up. Oh, lost signal. No, wait, here we go. Hey, we're in, boys. Why does the date look a little bit scuffed down there? Why are the ones orange? Man, I don't care. We're doing Steam. Any second now. Any second now. See? Red. Oh wait, that's the ones. Steam! I saw something happen. Why does my mouse look so fat also? Cursors. Oh, there goes Steam. Oh, now I don't want you. Fuck off. I want classic. Ah, that's better. Okay, let's do a controller test. Atari Xbox 360 game controller. Okay, clicks, clicks. A, B, X, Y. Nice D-pad, shoulder buttons. Triggers are analog, nice. We don't need that. Actually, since they are analog triggers, that reminds me. I'm gonna do a local layout because this controller's different. G overlay or Goverlay. Will that work with Sonic Racing CrossWorlds? Because that'll give us a lot more information if it does. Pardon me, Java is updating in the background of my freaking main computer. Java, fuck off! Oh my god, what happened? You little piece of shit. Sonic Racing CrossWorlds on the Atari VCS 800. Although the 800 only stands for how much RAM is installed, there's the 800 and there's the 400, and since I've upgraded mine, does that mean that I'm using an Atari 3200? Cause like, the 2600 was also called the, what was it, Video Computer System? So, the VCS 2600, this is the VCS 800, but it's been upgraded, so it's the VCS 3200, so this is just the Atari 3200, huh? Is that right? It's even more confusing when you realize that like the 2600 doesn't even refer to bytes and these refer to gigabytes. No, 2600 was literally just like its manufacturing number. All right, we are currently sitting at a cool 0 FPS with 100% GPU utilization. Oh. We might need to give it more VRAM. It's not listening to my input. Why aren't you listening to the controller? Well, it's working. Why aren't you listening to the controller? Don't you like Xbox controllers? Well, we are currently hovering at 30 FPS, 25. Let's go ahead and turn VSync off. Oh my god. How about we turn anti-aliasing off just to give it a little bit more of a boost? Rendering scale 50. Okay, we're still not hitting 60. Is it because you're in a borderless window? If we put you in like full screen, would you be happy with the controller then? Okay, we are in big picture mode, and the controller is definitely working. Nah, it ain't having it. I guess we'll test it with a keyboard for now? I have no freaking clue how to drive on a keyboard. Is it arrow keys? Oh, we tanking. Splitting the camera was not a good idea. I don't think the game is running at full speed. Oh no. Hold it E, and then I'm working on it. Oh god. Oh man, the slowdown is so bad. Okay, hold on. I can hear the Atari screaming. Well, let's see what we can do here. First of all, resolution, 1280 by 720, 50% resolution scale. If this still doesn't run at full speed. Okay, that's better. That's a lot better. It looks terrible, and oh my god. Right, I guess I don't need to hold W. How do people drive on keyboard? Oh my god. Oh, there's still a little slowdown. It's not as bad. Our temperature's okay. How much VRAM do they recommend? You know, probably a little late to be seeing what the minimum spec requirements for this game are. Where we at? Minimum. An AMD Radeon R9 380. 4 gigabytes. Alright, well we've got 4. Recommended is 6 gigabytes of VRAM. We can do that. But, how does that stack up against what we got? That's minimum, huh? Ah! Oh, no! it 8. All right, hang on. Hang on. We're gonna give you 8. That's as high as it's gonna get. I don't think it can actually, no, yeah, that is the maximum wattage that this thing can draw is 54 watts. We could give it a little going for. I'm gonna increase everything except critical by 10. We're a little out of spec here. Not gonna lie. It's not looking good. I'm already impressed that it ran at all. Holy fuck. It's just, oh wait, oh, there it was. Wait, did we get it? Wait, I saw it for a second. Controller support? Hey, the controller's working! Aw, fuck yeah, dude. Our temperature's looking pretty good. All right, what if we unlock the frame rate? I wanna see what we do again. Oh, we're getting 55. That's not so bad. How about this? That's a bigger hit. Oh my God, okay, FXAA it is. Oh my God, I'd rather not have that. Look at that. Never mind, we're turning that back off. What does this do? Is this good? Wait, that looks good. Wait a minute, that's okay. Okay, maybe our target shouldn't be 60. That's not gonna happen. All right, we'll limit it to 30, because it looked like we were getting there. Hang on, this is not awful. Like, it's kind of a blurry image. We're not going under 30. This is not ideal, but I mean, I'm playing it. It's the bottom end of what I'd call playable. Wait, no, see, I can do it there! What was wrong with the other, what? Was that steering assist refusing to let me onto the fucking, what? But it didn't prevent me from crashing, it just prevented me from, oh, I missed it completely. They're kind of right. It doesn't use more than 6 gigs of VRAM. Oh, we lost a little bit of frames there. It does not like the menus. Do you think it would feel better without VSync? I hope those are the engines whirring of the cars and not, oh. Oh my. Okay, do not, is that VSync? Or is that me trying to have it be 60? Okay, VSync on. I think we're already experiencing the slowdown. I don't think it's the VSync, I think it's setting it to 60. Yeah, it's setting it to 60. So 30 is our target. All right, 30 with VSync off. Let's see how this one feels. And without this, it's gonna be, it looks really bad without that. Okay, but on 60, what would the resolution scale be? Okay, that's like 37. Hang on, if our target is 30, maybe we can make this look better. 1920 by 1080, and at 50%, we're still at 37. That's about, ooh. All right, so this is what it looks like at 50% render scale, no anti-aliasing, 1080. How does it look if we make it 720 again, but then have it be 100% render scale? All right, we're trying this with anti-aliasing off right now.
Let's see you back it up.
It is running at full speed. That split screen still tanks it. You know, with VSync off, the controls feel a lot better. That's usually how that goes. It's just, hey, some games work better with it, some games work better without it. Most of them work better without it, but you don't know until you try. The menu still seems a little slow, but we are maintaining 30. Like, it's barely a slowdown. Well, I'll tell you one thing. Given how tight we're having this, a stock VCS would definitely not be running this well. You'd have to turn anti-aliasing off entirely and just put up with the pixelated look. I forgot where the B button was, that's what that flick was, don't worry about that. I just accidentally bumped the camera button. I'm sorry, I'm used to the B button being on the left, not the fucking right! The left bottom, specifically. You know what else I'm realizing? So we're talking about VRAM usage, right? This overlay can't be helping. Although given that I repasted the thing, I kinda like that overlay so I can keep an eye on the temperatures. I don't know, it's still not really struggling. Amazing what kind of extra performance you can get when you don't have to deal with Windows, isn't it? Man, it controls good, though, after we turn VSync off. Yeah, did you guys know Oma Chow can do this? Y'all are sleeping on Oma Chow. Yeah, he puts you into a state where you can skip off-road sections as if you have a Wisp. So I know it's only level 3 rivals, but we did the entire fucking thing and got all of the freaking red rings on each stage. Well, actually, no, we have not done the finale. And this one's gonna be good because it has to load 3 different entire tracks. We have 32 gigs of RAM, or I guess technically right now, we've got like, what would that be? 24? We got 24 gigs of RAM. I think we can handle loading 3 full tracks for the sake of the finale. Seems to be fine here. Oh, little dip for a second when he came through the little portal thing. All right, we're still okay. Matter of fact, it's not even sitting at 75 anymore. It's chilling at 70. Get out my rings, bitch! These are mine! These rings is mine! Oh, egg pawn. Ooh, there was one. We actually got lower. We got to 25. Every now and then, I'm feeling a little slow down here when those flowers load in. Just a tiny little hair. It might actually affect your top speed in online. There's a couple frame drops here, and those gold rings aren't very happy when you go through them. I suppose you could just leave the camera looking behind you when you're approaching one of those rings. Man, you know what though? It's actually playable. And we don't even need to have this anti-aliasing on. We could, if the frame drops are really bothering you and you're really just out there for performance, you can just turn that off. Hatsune Miku! To answer the question of how well optimized is this Unreal Engine 5 game possibly, you absolutely could play the game on an Atari VCS so long as you give it a RAM upgrade. I would definitely give it better thermal paste too. But like, I'm not expecting everyone to run out and buy an Atari VCS used now. Although if you wanted a cheap way to play this game with mods. Wait a minute. And speaking of mods, well, I've been playing around with it for a little bit, and I have determined that there are some settings that allow you to make it a little sharper. If you don't mind a little bit of the flickering, as you can see on the lines there of Dodonpa's little pod, but if you want it to be a little sharper and still maintain a good frame rate, actually a little better, as you can see it's at 38, here are the settings you can have on this. So obviously you're going to want to actually have the frame rate at 30. That was just to check what the frame rate was. Everything's still at low, FXAA, but we've got rendering scale at 100% at 720p, 1280 by 720. And yes, mods do work. I don't know why they wouldn't, but yes. Yeah, let's give it a go. By the way, I saw people complaining on Steam about like performance with this game. One of the things that I saw was someone complaining that like, oh, they have a decent computer, but like, you know, it's blurry, the frame rate's low and everything, right? He has a RTX 3080 and a bunch of Steam users are sitting there telling him, oh, it sounds like you need a better GPU than just a 3080. Bitch, the Atari VCS is not having a problem running it. There's something wrong with either Windows or his settings. Well, it was only one minor frame stutter. Let's see if it made it better on, like, the rings. Because we do have a little more jaggies, but I'd actually be okay with that for the fact that, like, the resolution scale is higher. So, it's not blurry, because the resolution is real. Okay, it was down to 28. It was doing 25 earlier, so, like, yeah, it seems to be running better with these settings.
Do you have lag input?
Well, given that clutch fucking save, I don't think I got lag input, Tails fuck.
Oh, this is humiliating.
So those portals, I swear they look like they're 15 frames a second now. I wonder if the portals are always half the frame rate of the game. We are literally saving 1 frame. But when we've only got 30 to work with, 1 extra frame is actually a lot more noticeable than you'd think. I don't know, I think we've got it running pretty decent on this thing. I wonder how bad or good the Switch looks compared to this. The Switch's graphics are lower than the lowest that the PC can go. It's not by much, you wouldn't really notice it when you're actually driving. Yeah, it actually looks okay. It can't handle the textures very well, but it looks like the reflections are all right. That actually makes sense, because I think the Switch has like NVIDIA integrated graphics, if I remember. All right, reflections, high. I mean, you know, it's definitely running at full speed, I'd say, given what I just did. You don't understand. I'm also playing through the capture card. I'd say the input time on the Atari here is pretty fucking good. I think I do like it better. I'd much rather have the jaggies than it make it feel like my eyes are out of focus. Anti-aliasing is kind of nice, but like, man, there's just something about this game that just keeps trying to look blurry. Like, blurrier than it usually does when I have anti-aliasing in other games. Not to mention, I'ma be real, modding an Atari VCS is a pain in the fucking ass. It is a very bitchy console about what it wants to have done. So don't take this as a serious suggestion. Take this with an enormous fucking, like, helping assault, right? But if the whole thing was, oh man, I guess I'm gonna have to buy the Switch version because I don't have a PC that can run this. First of all, it probably can, whatever PC you have. Secondly, if it really can't, or you just straight up don't have one, I mean, this thing costs less than the Switch and it's doing about the same job. Ooh, it hates this course though. Oh my goodness. Oh man, I should not have turned the reflections up. Reflections, you're going on low. I can't believe there's no medium, it's just high or low. 30, it's still 30. It might, oh, 28. Okay, well, we found our benchmarking stage. Well, let's just see if it's a solvable issue. What if we just put it at 75 with anti-aliasing off? You know, it still looks decent. Man, their anti-aliasings just suck, like all of them. And that's not even the resolution we're playing at. I play this game in 4K on my main PC and leave anti-aliasing off for the same reason. Well, solid 30 so far. Huh. Yeah, 30 the whole way through. But how about the ring? Because that one always gets us. 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30! 30 whole way through! 30 whole way through! 30 whole way through, dude! We got it! Okay, everything low, VSync off, full screen enabled is required, 720p, so 1280 by 720, 75% render scale, everything low, no VSync, full screen. Then the Atari VCS is then capable of a solid 30 frames a second in what appears to be all scenarios. Does that mean we fixed the split screen? I doubt it. I think that's a completely different issue. Actually, that raises the question. How do we add another player? Let's make sure that controller is actually identifying as a controller real quick. Uh-oh. It does not seem to like this thing. Okay, well, I've got another one I can try. That, since it seems to want an Xbox controller, but like, this is like prototype Xbox controller. No, of course it works. No problem, just gotta turn your rumble motor off. Okay, we've got our second controller. If it doesn't like the split camera, I can't imagine what it's gonna do here. Oh. Oh, it's fine. Oh my god, this is so freaking hard to split my focus between two, like, driving things. Wait, it's running fine. How about one of us is in, like, the CrossWorld and the other's just hanging out here? What? It's running perfectly fine. Okay, sound withstanding. But that's Proton, that's normal. What the heck? How? How is this running okay? That's amazing! It's not even getting that hot! Oh, well, maybe a little.
Suboptimal performance.
Does it shake off faster the further back you are? Because that was very fast. Or it could be that these sticks aren't calibrated and they're going outside the controller range. Wait, is that how you can you cheat like that? Uh-oh. Wait, that ran fine! So the game is really well optimized. I'm seeing people arguing over whether the game is actually UE5 or UE4. Doesn't matter at this point. This is optimized for either of them. And like, this little... Oh no. Oh. I even greased the... I told you, man, it's a 64 stick. I am thoroughly impressed. Not just with Sega's optimization, but that is certainly... that is certainly it. I mean, dude, Sega, I can't believe I'm saying this, but you actually genuinely need to lower what Steam says the minimum system requirements are, because this is running it fine. And that'll just about do it for this video. Man, I could go on talking about this console for quite a bit longer, but I'm gonna try to keep the intro short and say, if you guys want to see more of this thing in the future, let me know in the comments below. But call me impressed. This did a much better job than it had any right to. Hell, I think they could port this thing to the Atari VCS officially if they wanted to. If they give it the same settings as the Switch, I don't see why not. Oh man, does that mean the Wii U could have run this? I'm not getting into that. Anyway, thanks for watching everybody. I'll see you guys in the next one.